just gonna hand it off here in a little bit so they can cover questions. Thank you guys on behalf of therootplan.com, Boca Raton, for being here, and yeah, we'll start with questions and some addresses from Coach.
You want me to start? I'll start. Awesome. Obviously, really grateful to our fans that came down. Man, it was awesome. You could feel the energy right from the start, and our band, holy smokes, brought so much juice and energy, and it was incredible. I'm super grateful to our fans, super grateful to our fans that have supported us all through the year. A year ago, I just told these guys in the locker room, a year ago, man, we asked this group to buy into a vision, and in college football today, it's really hard. And I challenge these guys to do something rather than be somebody. And again, modern day college football, modern day society tells you that it's about you and it's not about the team. And just told these guys thank you for having some blind faith in me, in our staff, that we could lay a foundation for something, and never put a ceiling on it. Certainly the floor was where we were at. And I just remember sitting at media days in July in Dallas, and we're picked 13th out of 14. I remember sitting there answering 2 questions at media day, and we haven't arrived, but gosh darn it, have we laid a foundation for something elite. And I'm just really proud of our guys, and I'm grateful, certainly these guys sitting up here in front of you. I'm grateful for the 117 of them that bought into a process-driven program rather than a result-driven program. And I understand that I'm judged on result, and I'm totally okay with that. But to buy into the process of doing things the right way, to buy into eating right, sleeping right, hydrating, really hard to do, day in, day out. What we've asked these guys to do is more than they've ever done. But I think a year in, we've laid a foundation for how to be successful, how to be process-driven. I think in recruiting, we've gone out and sold just that, sold these guys. And it's been awesome to be able to practice through December, to be able to keep this team together. It's a bunch of really resilient dudes. And every single guy sitting up here chose to stay. There was a time where it wasn't cool to stay. To those guys that left, wish them nothing but the best, but gosh darn it all. I told these guys I will have their back forever because they believed in us and we believed in them. We have real belief and real faith in something in life, man. You can go do whatever you want. I told these guys last night, I told them again today, don't you ever let a man tell you what you can and can't do. And 7 wins is not the pinnacle of college football, but it's certainly a foundation for something to lead. And we will win championships in Tampa. And we'll win championships at South Florida. I can't wait to get there whenever we're ready for that moment. But there have been times throughout the season where we haven't been ready for the moment. But tonight against a good ACC team, we were. And so, write what you want about it. These are some of the toughest, smartest football players I've ever been around, but they're elite human beings as well. I'm so proud to coach them, and I'm grateful for them. So, open it up to questions.
Coach, I remember one of the messages you had this week was it's great to play in a bowl game, but it's even better to win one. It's like message received with the way your team came out on both sides of the ball, talking offensive and defensive. I'm just curious what your reaction was to the start, and then how your team was able to maintain that throughout the entire game.
Yeah, these guys knew, and I've been very open with what it is to play in a bowl game. There's always 2 teams, obviously. One that's there to have fun and blow it out, and one that's there to win the football game. I think we tried to have enough fun that we can get refocused and go. But I think you challenge this group, you know, with anything, and they'll go fight. And that's what I'm most proud of. I mean, you talk about defense. Holy smokes. I mean, 20 rushing yards, and I don't have the stats in front of me, but 20 rushing yards and whatever it was passing. At halftime, 0 for 7 on third down. I think just the challenge of continuing to stay focused, continue to stay locked in, and they answered the bell. You know what was really cool was to get some backups in there, and they just kept doing the same thing. And that's our game where we can play in a box and stop the run. A lot of credit to the defense, and to go score on defense, to go score on special teams. Man, it certainly makes it easier on offense when you're playing from ahead. And offensively, we ran the ball efficiently, created explosives. You know, I think in the first half, third down wise, we weren't great. Thought we got better in the second half there, but we were able to create explosives and were able to involve Byrum in the run game, which helped us. But our guys, I mean, we played harder than those guys. I told the defense after the second drive, we were playing harder than them. And there's a team that wants to be there and a team that's just happy to be there, and a team that's there to win the game, and we were there to win the game. And the defense set the tone, offense was efficient, special teams made a giant play on the field goal block to go score. I mean, our nose guard had a pick, you know, I mean, just, but things happen, you know. I'm gonna give you a quick story and I'll shut up here. We played Navy, and after the game, I told the team this, after the game, you know, let me rewind. I made a comment last spring and said, balls don't bounce your way, because I kept hearing, gosh darn, Florida game a year ago where the field goal snap got botched, and I just kept hearing, man, the ball just didn't bounce our way, ball didn't bounce our way. I learned a long time ago, balls don't bounce your way, or not your way. You make balls bounce. And I told the guys, our process is what makes the ball bounce your way. And the Navy game, Tramel on a field goal block, scooped and scored, bounced right to him. And I walked around the corner. The D-line is always the last group out of the locker room, inevitably. And they're sitting there having a ball after the Navy game, which was the first away game we'd won in conference in God knows how long. And Jason Bond, who was out for the year at that point with the injury, and Jason Bond sitting there talking to these guys, and I come around the corner to go take a shower, and he said, man, you know, that Golesh was right, man, when he said that balls do, I mean, you do make balls bounce your way. And if that's the lesson we learned, that we make balls bounce our way, you know, and then a few weeks later against Temple, Tramel picks off a ball. You look at the jugs chart from that week, Tramel was on the jugs twice. After practice, on his own, nobody making it. It's called process. And that's what I'm so proud of, that we're not perfect. We're not all 100% bought into it. But gosh darn it, I had enough that we were able to keep playing. And so that's what I mean by process. That's what I'm proud of. We got a long way to go, but we're in a good place that we've laid a foundation. So I don't even know what the question was, but that's what came to mind.
Coach, the last time you were here, obviously, was Central Florida. You had a tough time with Zach Wilson. How did it feel to come back to Boca Raton with your own team and be able to put on a really impressive performance here in South Florida? I mean, today was as good as it gets.
Yeah, it felt great. I blacked out that year in my mind, just so you know.
Oh, that's okay. And the second part of the question is, do you feel you made some good inroads in terms of recruiting here in South Florida during the course of the week, culminating with tonight?
Yeah, I think we've had a big emphasis in South Florida. You know, we're talking about Palm and Broward and Dade. We've spent a lot of time, and certainly respect the football that's played down here. And hopefully we did we're going to continue to work really hard in South Florida to recruit. The brand of football is really good. You get tough, smart dudes that love football.
Right.
I'll take any of those guys any time of the day.
Sean, you became the first 1,000-yard receiver for USF. Could you speak about what that means to you? And Byrum, could you speak about what Sean means to the team?
Oh yeah, it just means that our process was right all year. Coach keeps emphasizing that, and it's not result driven. But whenever you got a whole bunch of guys on the field just doing the same thing that's going on and get wins every week, that's the reason that I was able to do that. And then Byrum trusted me, the whole line blocking for me, and then LD. I can't pay enough respect to him. You know, he taught me how to be the receiver I am today, and I just love his team, and the 1,000 yards. That's not really anything, you know. So this win means more to me than anything else.
And like he's just said, the 1,000 yards and a lot of him. I mean, that speaks to who he is. He's a team first guy, and he means everything to this team. And glad that he made that mark. But you know, he like he said, for the whole team, and glad that he's on our side.
Daquan, total, complete, dominant effort by the defense. What kind of a launch pad can this be for 2024? You guys were inconsistent this year. You're a veteran. You've seen the younger guys in practice every day. How good can this defense be going forward?
It's gonna be real good. It's like what Coach said. Like, we're a process-driven team, so he gonna come back next year, January 7th, and first team he gonna talk about. You gotta have your process right. He gonna, dedicate how this season went and make sure they learn from what we did this season, and being able to set the foundation for themselves next year. So that's really the main thing. I feel like we set the foundation as a whole team, university, athletics, and like shock the world and let people know like USF football back.
Tramel, does it get contagious when the defense starts to pick up balls, and it just seemed like it was just roller coaster, one after another, and you could just see everything start to pick up, and the intensity. You guys were flying all over the field defensively. It just seemed once that first swoop and score, it kind of like everybody wanted the ball.
Yeah, it is contagious. You know, when you see your guys turn up out there, it make you want to go make plays as well. Like I'm seeing my other guys, make plays, and it like it's juicing me up to go make plays. So like, and then I'm doing it, then guys come to me saying the same thing. So yeah, I think it's contagious. It's good contagious.
Aamaris, could you describe what happened on that field goal? I think Tab and Ward might have knocked it around and you got it. What'd you see there?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't see nothing but the end zone. Like the ball just fell in my hands. The ball just fell in my hands. I'm just telling myself, just run. And my guy Barry here, he was behind me. I thought he was gonna trip me and I was gonna fall, to be honest. But shout out to Tavin, making him make the ball bounce towards me and stuff like that. But I didn't see nothing but green. So yeah.
Coach, speaking of Tavin, he kind of went through it this year. Interception, forced fumble there. How good was it for you to see him kind of bounce back and have a pretty impactful game?
Yeah, I mean, you as a young guy playing corner, I mean, you're gonna go through growing pains, right? Like, not easy, but we've got faith in Tab. But we've got faith in Tab because of the way he works and what his process looks like. And you keep hearing the same thing over and over again. That guy grinds. He's smart, he's tough, he's gritty. And as much as people have gone after him, he's gone after people too. And that's a result of his process. He's just gonna continue to get better and better and better. Got full faith in Tab or he wouldn't be out there. And I think these guys on defense do, our team does. But that's how he practices. It's the same. He's on the jugs after practice. He's working on his craft in his off days, watches a ton of film. Like, that dude's a football player. He's smart, he's tough, he's gritty. That's what you recruit. And I'm glad he's here. And he's started off as a backup, ended up earning a starting job, and he ain't looking back. That's a tough, gritty, smart football player.
Coach, you talked earlier about the fans and the band. Can you go more into it? Because it seemed like USF's sides of the stadium was electric compared to Syracuse's.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, certainly helps that we we get to play a bowl game in state. How about you live in a place where they play bowl games? When you've lived in Ames, Iowa, and Champaign, Illinois, and Toledo, Ohio, you're grateful to live in a place where they play, and those are great places, but not in December. So grateful to live in a place where we play bowl games, and I think this fan base is just dying for a winner, man. And we've played football here for 26 years, and so we're still growing in that regard, but we led the league in attendance. So grateful to our fans. Our band is incredible. They were in there 2 hours pregame. They wouldn't turn any music on, so they just brought the juice. Credit to those 300 young men and women, and for them coming down and bringing the juice. It's awesome. It's awesome. That's what college football is. I walked into that alumni tent, bunch of juice in there and energy, and it was real. Getting off the bus was cool. That's what college football is. And we'll get to a point where that place is packed, that Ray J is packed, because we play a brand of football that's one, fun, exciting, but we play tough football, and we'll get it to a point where that place is packed and rocking like it should be.
Okay, so what you've accomplished these last 48 hours tonight, what you accomplished yesterday at signing day, what is the upside of this defense? What's the ceiling?
I think the ceiling is exactly the same as it is on offense. The standard is to be the best in the country at what we do, and we're going to fight like crazy to get there. So I would say that would be the literal ceiling.
Coach, how much does the excitement go with the fact that eventually you're going to have an on-campus stadium? You're building your program now, and then a few years down the road, you know, everything will be on campus, which would give you even more of a home field advantage with all the energy that should be pumped into that building.
Yeah, just like what I said about today, like that's what college football should be.
Right.
And we're grateful to play at Ray J. It's an incredible venue, but it'll be cool when we get to play on campus. It'll unite our alumni base. It'll certainly bring our student population closer together. That's what college football should be. Students should wake up and do whatever they do on a Saturday morning and go to the game and have a ball and then walk home. I mean, it'll be awesome. It's what it should be. And again, we're young as a football program, and that's just part of it. That's part of the growth, and I'm grateful to everybody that's made that happen. And a year ago was a vision, now it's real. And I know there's a lot of people that have worked like crazy to get that done, but I think it certainly helps in recruiting. It certainly helps. It'll help eventually unite this university together on game day Saturdays. It'll be incredible.
Coach, another big game on your quarterback in a season of big games. What did you see from him today and throughout the whole season, and where does he go from here?
Well, he started off the game putting his shoulder down through a safety, which we talked about, don't lower your right shoulder last night. Right. So he put his left shoulder down through the guy. I've said it before, tough, smart, gritty. Dog.
Just South Florida football.
South Florida football. I had to go to Raleigh to get it.
Daquan Evans, number 0, what does it mean to you to put a 0 up as your walk-off tonight?
A blessing. Come on, nothing but on the scoreboard, and it's just a blessing. I'm glad he influenced me to come back, gave me a blueprint, and I just stuck out to the blueprint and achieved everything he set in front of me. That's better for me on and off the field, like I said all the time to everybody. He made me a better person on and off the field, better father, better man. He just showed me, the right ropes in life, how to live my life. So yeah, it's a blessing for me.
And the defensive players, what was it like to be part of this? Just, having a ball out there and then getting a shutout.
It was amazing, man. I've been preaching that all season, wanting a Krispy Kreme, man.
Glaze.
So to go in the bowl game, it was amazing.
Yeah, I feel like honestly, it was a big achievement for the defense. Like Tramel said, all year we've been preaching on trying to get a goose egg up there, on the scoreboard, and we weren't able to do so. So tonight, for the last game, to leave that out there
you know, and leave 0 points up there on the board. It meant a lot for this team, so just watch out next year.
Hey Byrum, can you talk about, you guys like to play fast. We watch and cover, you know that you play fast. It's one thing to see fast on film and tape. It's another thing to prepare for. It looks like you have them on their heels from the get-go, and you guys fell into the rhythm really, really early playing fast.
Oh yeah, it's different when it's out there in front of you and you playing against it. Our defensive guys will know in practice. Yeah, so just getting out there, executing on all cylinders. You know, there were a few mishaps, but you know, bounce back to the next play, next play mentality, and just end up going from there.
Can you talk about the old quarterback from Vieira High School throwing your pass?
Oh yeah, that was a dot.
That's nothing new though.
Yeah, that ain't new. We've been saying that.
We've been saying that. Y'all just not saying it.
It's just new to y'all, you know.
I got the best touch on the team, though.
Uh-oh.
Byrum, you know, fans rush the field. You know, everybody wants to take pictures with QB1. I know your whole family was here. You know, a lot of people rocking the 17 just for you, man. Just what's that feeling like to, you know, have everybody just wanting to take a picture with you and you know, being around you and just what's that feeling like for you?
I mean, it's a blessing. You dream of that as a little kid, you know, seeing college football players when you were younger out there, getting fans rushing up to them and taking pictures. So, I mean, it's a dream come true. It's just truly a blessing. But what wouldn't happen without these guys sitting next to me and Coach Golesh. So, just them putting me in the best position to, like, play ball, and that's it.
Coach, you mentioned the media day, you know, nobody really had any questions because nobody didn't expect anything. And now there will be questions next year and there will be expectations and you're going to go on a different trajectory. What do you think that will be like to have that, and how you know, what's the dynamics of you and the guys, you know, preparing for that next level of expectation, or whatever you call it?
Yeah, this first year was all about laying a foundation and setting a standard. You know, you want those expectations. That's what you coach for. That's what you play for. Again, I think when you start thinking about that, that's when you go sideways with your process, because you're worried about the end result and not worried about the expectations, not worried about any of that. We just got to be the best version of ourselves. That's for the outside. That's for media. That's for fans, and they should have expectations. We ask a lot of them, and we're going to continue to ask a lot of them. And so it should be. You're at South Florida. Remember, got out of college, started coaching. Remember watching South Florida play. It was 2007, 2008. That's when the expectation and the standard was set, that you're playing in big time games that matter. And so there should be an expectation. There should be a standard. And we're going to work like crazy to that standard. But on our time, we're going to be the best version of ourselves every single day. That's what my job is to set the standard, demand that of our coaches and our support staff, and then we demand it of our players. But at whatever point that our players demand that of themselves and lead, we'll be able to go achieve whatever we want. And so we'll just go to work, just like we've done since we got here, and these guys will go to work. I couldn't be more proud to be a part of it, but it'll be good to have a standard and expectations.
All right, we're gonna take one more question tonight, so Coach, I'll let you pick your question.
Joey, you want another headline?
Yeah, give me one. At 1 o'clock in the morning, I could use one. On a deadline here.
We are on a print deadline, or we're in a digital era.
Y'all make sure y'all get home safe.
There you go.
Go Bulls.
Right home safely.